Alright, today's gonna be a somewhat interesting video, I suppose. Now, I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys also follows Linus Tactics, and recently they just posted a video about warming up a pizza. Yeah, I see an application for that, but I wanted to do a video on something that my wife would actually be appreciate. It's called warming up her feet. So the reason why I say that is I grab all my water cooling kit and a little 240 rad and a bucket of water. Oh yeah. So in this test, I'm gonna put the rat in the water, and I also have my temperature probe sitting right here. And yeah, I would like to boil the water. I would say, let's see how far I can warm the water and see if my CPU will ever thermal throttle. The goal is not to like cook the water, right? It's not to boil 200 degrees, but just to warm it up so she can soak her feet and maybe, you know, save some energy along the way, I suppose. But to be honest, this is just not practical whatsoever. But I like to do the test anyways. So with that out of the way, I am gonna start assembling the rest of my water cooling kit here, and yeah, I'll get the test started. Alrighty. I think I got everything all hooked up properly, I suppose. So obviously there's some air in the system. I'm trying to purge it out. And you definitely have to pump blasting quite a bit. There's one thing I think that maybe the loop is it's getting a little bit of how I say resistance, just because I have such a long run. But I'm trying to get the air out. Now, if you look at the probe here, the top one is the ambient temperature. The bottom one is the tank temperature. I'm gonna adjust the probe a little bit just so it's actually in the water. And so 16 degrees in the water. Now I'm gonna start try to push a little bit more water out of the system. And it's gonna be pretty loud. So what's really annoying for me is the fact that this pump's leaking a little bit. I do have new O-rings, so as you can see, it's leaking from here. There. It is quite old of our O-ring and all that stuff, so it's not anybody's fault. I think you know, we're not blaming XXPC or EK at this moment, but I am gonna replace the O-ring. It is not part of this video, but I figure I'll show you guys how to replace the O-ring on these things anyways. I think the O-ring just got quite old, and because the water is not like filled on in the system, so you could probably just do it without draining the loop whatsoever. And I kind of wish I'd be using the LTT screwdriver sitting on my side, but it just happens that the bit that's on this driver. Alright. I feel like this is gonna be a pain. So I'm gonna pause the video right after this, just because I need to find where my O-ring is. And you could also keep up on the temperature. You can see it's raising a little bit because of you know, just the PC being idle. And just, you guys are curious, the pump is not running. I'm just running straight up on just passive just the passive cooling on it. It's running about 55 degrees. All right, so let me grab a new O-ring. All right, guys, got my new O-ring in here. Needs to go on here. Let's show you on the big camera, I suppose. Just wrap around. I am not too sure whether or not. See, this one is nice and loose. Let's figure out how this O-ring works. That sits in there. Pump. No. So. I don't think this should be that tight. Let me probably just use the old O-ring for one more time. Maybe it wasn't sitting properly. So the pump goes in like that. Pressed in. So let's give that another try here. It wasn't leaking with a different pump from a different video, so I don't know whether or not it is just because me not assembling the pump properly when I swapped out the pump. Just letting you know the other pump, why I was swapping out, just because it was making quite a bit of noise compared to this one. And I do want to get an updated D5 pump at some point, a newer model. As you can see, this one has a little dial. And yeah. So, as you guys are also curious, idling right now, the CPU temperature says around 65 degrees. The pump yet to start yet. So this time what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna torque it, try to torque it as best as evenly as I can on these four corners. One, two, three, four, and then this just screws beside it. I think the EK all-in-one pump is pretty good. I don't think it's a manufacturer tolerance issue or anything like that, because I had this for a very long time, and hopefully it will stop dripping after I reassemble this. Hope the water doesn't get into the electrical parts of it. Yeah, I have this D5 pump for almost like 20 years, so it is quite old. Still dripping water. Hey, it's running 36 degrees right now with the pump running. Alright guys, I'm actually going to stop the video. Gonna prime this pump a few more times. Once I'm ready, I'm gonna start record. I'll be back, guys. Alrighty guys, I am ready to start on the stress test, I suppose. I think the pump stopped leaking, and obviously I'm gonna have this on, time lapse for you guys. So at the start of this particular test, we're sitting about 21.3 degrees ambient and 16.4 degrees in the water. And let's see how warm the water can get. And here we go. Alright guys, here goes the test. Is the water getting any warmer? 16.7. This is almost looking at paint dry right now. Alright guys, it's been a few minutes now and the pump has quieted down now, and I'm looking at whether or not, you know, if temperature has, going up, and really we're sitting at 16.9 degrees, and then the CPU core temp says about 56-ish. I'm not sure if the pump is doing something weird right now. So just double check. It's definitely flowing water. And CPU temperature is now going up. And I don't know how long this is gonna take for the water to warm up. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually stop recording and come back in this is 7 p.m. at the moment. So I'm gonna come back in a few hours and we'll check. Alright guys, it's been 2 hours and 10 minutes, and to be honest, this bucket water, it's getting a little bit warm, but as you can tell from the temperature, it's sitting about 28 degrees. It's warmish, but it's not that warm. And you look at the CPU temp, sitting about 75 degrees. It is slowly climbing up from 55. But to be honest, this is all I'm doing is putting that putting the the radiator in the water, and that's all I did. And I will attach a little bit of a clip from my cell phone to show you what the bucket looked like. And if you guys see from my video, water looks weird, looks a little bit gross actually. I don't know why. I did wash the radiator before I did this, but if you can tell, there's a little bubble coming out from the bucket. See a little bubble. It almost feels like it's boiling the water a little bit, supposedly. Yeah, super interesting and intriguing. Anyways, I am gonna keep this test running. I'll probably keep it going until the CPU starts thermal throttles, and then we can go see how the temperature is like in my bucket. Stay tuned. Okay guys, that other test has just completed. I restarted this test again. The 3 hour has lapsed, and as you can tell, my water temperature is 36 degrees, and the room temperature is about 24 because it's heating up the room, and my water still, warm but not hot. And as you can tell from my my computer screen over here, the temperature sits about 76 degrees, and it's been 3 hours. and just passively chilling there. It's not getting any hotter. Alright, let me dip my water in the water a little bit. It's a decent temperature. You know, quite warm, I suppose. But it's taking 3 hours for it to get warm. And I really want this water to be like nice and toasty, you know what I mean? Like I want to see how long it'll get there. And to be honest, if I were actually water cooling my graphics card, for example, I'm pretty sure the water will actually get quite warm faster than this. If you look at my power limits or power being used for this particular test, it's only about 116 watts right now, 17 watts, and yeah, it's just chilling there. So I'm gonna continue to stress test this to see how long it will take for the water to get really warm, and we'll be back. Alright guys, man, this thing has been going for 4.5 hours, and the water temperature is hitting about 40 degrees right now. And to be honest, I don't know if to say impressed, or should I say I'm surprised, I say, just because, man, it's taking this thing to heat up, like take forever to heat up, but then you can technically just use it to cool your CPU permanently like this, and you won't need to have any fans. Obviously I don't have, you know, a GPU sitting here that's also adding as part of the heat source, but I would say this would be a pretty viable option for cooling your PC, I suppose. I could keep on going this for probably another 6 hours, and it will probably thermal throttle around another 3 hour mark or something like that. And to be honest, I think so. If I do the math correctly, so at 16 degrees, my peak temperature was about 55 degrees. So effectively that means that 55 minus, let's say 15, that's would be a 40 degrees difference. So if my CPU was able to thermal throttle, I can get this temperature pretty much close to 50 degrees. And that's probably a good temperature, honestly, to keep your foot warm. But that will take, let's say, another 3 more hours. Not too effective in terms of heating water. But very effective in terms of cooling your PC. So I don't really want to keep on testing this particular rig. Maybe I'll add a GPU at some point and redo this test to see how quickly the water can get hot to, let's say, 50 degrees or something. But for now, I'll have to wrap up this video for you guys. And to sum it up, does this be a viable option for you to warm your own foot? Probably not, because it will take forever for the water to heat up. But it is an option for you to cool your PC per se, I suppose. I mean, you could keep a bigger bucket of water and you can soak your entire PC in it. Well, not the PC, but the radiator of the PC soak in it. And if the water can soak up, you know, quite a bit of energy, and you know, you could just do your gaming session 3, 4, 5 hours, and you know, if you got a bigger bucket and it'll absorb all that heat, and it will dissipate over time while your computer is off, right? It makes sense. And to be honest, there's a difference of 40 degrees between my CPU temp versus the water temp. So there's the 40 degrees delta. So effectively what it means is that I still got another 15 degrees to go for it to go thermal throttle, and effectively means that I will have a maximum of 55 degrees in terms of my water temperature, which is actually quite toasty. With that said, I would like to end this video, and if you really like this video, give me a thumbs up, and if you really like this video, please consider subscribing for the channel, and I will see you next time.